start the show. Are you ready? I'm about ready. Aren't you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. We could start when you're ready. All right, let's get some cold ones down on the table before we start. Give me a couple. Yeah, that sounds good. A couple of cold ones. We pop those off, and we start the show. I think that sounds good. You ready? Okay. All right. Who's getting them? I'm not thinking about getting any cold ones. Well, somebody's gonna have to walk there and get them. Can't start the show without a nice brewski in my hand. All right, yeah, all right. Let's just go with it then. We'll just go. Somebody will get them later. All right, boys and girls. Welcome to the show. Starting off a little funky. I don't have a Teddy Brewski in my hand. You know, I like to have a Teddy Brewski or two while we start the show. Yeah, I could take a couple of Teddy Brewskis myself. You know, I like to start the show the same way. You know, we're having a hard time here. Nobody's grabbing the brewskis. No worries, boys. Let's just start this one off right. How about this one real quick? The Bears. Yeah, the Bears lost the tough one. Justin Fields. He couldn't get away from that Garrett and that clown. Man, that clown and Garrett just really, really took it to us. Yeah, we couldn't move around at all. We just couldn't move around. We couldn't be effective. Fields was ready to unleash, and the team just wasn't working out that way. Did not look good for Justin Fields. Let's look at how much points he's got that week. He 3.92. That's a weak fantasy score. What do you have? 20 attempts at throwing the ball? That was not good at all. Them boys lost 6-26. Yeah, not making me too happy about that. I want the boys to look a lot better than just 20 attempts and a measly 68 yards. Justin Fields, come on, you gotta do better than that. All right, our main boy running the ball, David Montgomery. He's been doing pretty well in the start. We hit Cleveland, 6.5 fantasy points. Man, that's big downhill from the last game where he got 9.4 points. Yeah, not looking good. Just wasn't looking good this week for the boys. Yep. And who knows what that's going on. I'm seeing a questionable tag on Justin Fields. Who knows what's nagging him? Well, he got sacked about 9 times. That's probably what just nagged him all day. Was those several sacks he was dealing with. Yep, that was tough. That was tough. The kid was running around a little too much. Uh, that's dangerous waters for anybody back there. All right, wide receivers. Who did? Did anybody do anything? Huh? Anybody do anything significant? I don't think so. Allen Robinson really didn't do anything in that game. Can't blame him. Justin Fields was just being attacked by back there by them clowns and that Garrett guy. It was a straight clown effect. All right. Format of the show today. Running backs. Yeah, we're going to look at the running backs, how they're looking, who they play next week, how they look this past week, and any suggestions we have. Yeah, let me interject and tell you a couple of things I hate more than a running back committee. Here's one. Taking my daughter to a Justin Bieber concert. Yeah, not a big fan of that. Who would have thought beavers would learn how to sing? Hey, I never thought it. Number two, getting my tooth pulled at the dentist. Hey, I love eating them sweets, so I guess those are the consequences. You gotta lose them teeth. Stay healthy, my friends. Clean your teeth and floss. Alright, so Running back committee. Let's start with the lead dog of the pack, the king himself, Derrick Henry. Oh, the top dog did pretty well for himself, going over 100 yards. Hey, he even got a 2-point conversion. That's pretty snazzy for the top dog, Derrick Henry. Ran 28 times. Fantasy points 18.9, not too shabby. He blew up last week with a big 46.7 points, and he scored 3 touchdowns last week. But what you expect last week, expect that this week against the Jets. He's gonna jet set over there, run over a couple of pilots, and head right back to Tennessee and sip on some moonshine. Next in line, let's look at Aaron Jones. What type of game he had playing against San Francisco. 16.6 fantasy points, pretty strong. Scored a touchdown in that one. 82 yards. Yeah, Aaron Jones had himself a pretty good game. Okay, CMC Music Factory. Unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey went down pretty early in that game. Not going to be placed on IR, but he'll be out a couple of weeks. Only got 5 points in that game. If you're looking for a backup for Christian McCaffrey, who do you think we should suggest to them? Should it be Royce Freeman or that Chuba guy, Chuba Wubba? Yeah, his name Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, I would eye him to replace CMC Music Factory for a couple of weeks. Pick him up. Good choice, boys. You heard them. They said Chuba. I say Chuba too. We all say Chuba Wubba. Alright, Detroit coming up with DeAndre Swift. 50 points so far this season. What he did this week was a 20-20. That's right, 20.20 points fantasy-wise. 47 yards he ran. 1 touchdown. Big loss to the Baltimore Ravens, though, losing it at the end. But good game for the DeAndre Swift. That guy's looking swiftly. You think there's any relation to DeAndre Swift and Taylor Swift? No, they're not related. Yeah, they're not related, but I bet they're best friends, like to head to their local coffee shop and get a couple of lattes. Yeah, that sounds like what they probably do every day. LA Chargers with the next boy up on this line. 19.7 points for the Eckler. Yeah, he's not from Austin, but his name is Austin Eckler. Had a pretty good game against Kansas City. Big win for the LA boys. Good job for them. Ezekiel Elliott playing Monday night, scoring 2 touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys. 95 yards for him. He got all 3 of his balls as well. Ezekiel Elliott, another dual threat quarterback, looking pretty good. But he ain't no quarterback. we make mistakes sometimes here and there. So let's keep moving on. 2 brownies here, 2 boys from the Cleveland Browns, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb put up a nice set of points. 8.4, not too bad. 84 yards. If he would have ended with the touchdown there, would have been a nice fantasy day for him. Let's look at his partner. His dancing partner in the backfield scored a little bit better than him. 24.5 points. He scored a touchdown. Yeah, this dual threat running back team with Chubb and Hunt. You want to hunt one down? Well, the Chubbster's going to come up right behind him and make sure he puts it into the damn end zone. Okay. We're rounding third, basically, for the top 10 guys who were playing. Cordell Patterson, Atlanta Falcons. Is he a running back? Is he a wide receiver? I have no clue. But he's putting up some pretty good yards here. And touchdowns. He's running effectively. put up 20 yards against those G-men. Not looking too shabby there, Mr. Cordero Patterson. Week before that, he put up 22 points. Keep eyeing him, the boy from Atlanta. Hot Atlanta Cordero Patterson. At the end of the 10, Najee Harris had a nice coming out, catching 14 balls and running the ball 14 times for a total of 22.95 points. Yeah, this rookie looks like he might be a good one. What you think, boys? Yeah, I think he's gonna do really well this season. I don't know about that Pittsburgh team, but Najee's looking nice. Honorable mention for this week. We got a few guys. Peyton Barber, James Robinson, Alexander Mattinson, and James Gunner. You know, these guys really flashed this past week, and we want to fill you in on what they did and what we think they'll be doing the next couple of weeks or so. Let's start with that guy from Las Vegas, Peyton Barber. Had himself a pretty good game. Yeah, he showed out. 111 yards, 1 touchdown, caught 3 balls for 31 yards. He really toted the rock that game. Ended up with 22.7 points. If Las Vegas is going to be sitting out Josh Jacobs, I'd expect Peyton Barber to be running the show for a good while. They played the Chargers on Monday night. Yep, if Jacobs is out, you're going to want Barber in there running it around for you. Barber to Robertson. Maybe he does his hair. I doubt it. James Robinson plays early this week. Plays on Thursday against Cincinnati. He blew up against Arizona. Tough loss for them. But James Robinson did pretty well. Ran the ball 15 times for 88 yards and even got himself a nice touchdown running it in. Pretty game for him. He caught all 6 of his balls for 46 yards. Heck of a game for that James Robinson guy out of Florida. Carlos Hyde is kind of biting at his heels, but James Robinson, I think, is going to be the top workhorse on that team. Stepping in for Dalvin Cook, not his chef, but his backup running back, Alexander Mattison, ran for 112 yards. That's pretty solid. Got 6 balls for 59 yards. This kid looked pretty good replacing the chef, Dalvin Cook. They play Cleveland next year. A couple of brownies. That clown over there, tough guy to run against. We'll see how well Alexander Mattison does against them Browns if he gets the start over Cook again. Moving along. Ex-Pittsburgh Steeler James Conner, the Terminator, I'm kidding. James Conner ran pretty well, getting himself 2 touchdowns for himself. Only 43 yards, not too bad. He's sharing the backfield there with Chase Edmonds, but it seems like Conner's the goal line boy. So if you're looking for touchdowns from a running back, James Conner may be your boy there. They're going to play a tough defense. Yeah, they're going against the Rams, and they're going to be at SoFi Stadium for that one. Now we'll see what James Conner does. He's got 17.8 points in that game against Jacksonville, which is a weaker D compared to the Rams, if you ask me. And 43 yards. Pretty solid game for the boy from Pittsburgh. So we talked about the top 10 leaders through week 3. We talked about some honorable mention. Now let's talk about some boys who are toss-ups. Are we going to start them? Are we going to sit them? Are they bums? or are they contenders who are going to help us win in fantasy? So let's look at number one guy, Leonard Fournette. They play New England at night, Sunday night that is. And I think Lenny is gonna do well. Gio is out. He's a little banged up. I think Leonard Fournette has a better game. He'll be in the positive script, I think. If you got Leonard, I say you play him. Mike Davis. They're going to invite Washington. That young character, Chase Young, is going to be in town. Mike Davis has been scoring just barely under 10 fantasy points a week. It's a big toss-up with them. You have no clue what he's going to do. I think everybody's waiting to see if this guy's going to be real or not. As of right now, he's a middle of the road, barely even. It's a toss-up with them. We touched upon James Robinson. I think he's no longer a toss-up. You start him. Myles Gaskin, the Miami boy. Gaskin, right around with Mike Davis, just barely hitting that 10-point fantasy mark. They're going up against Indianapolis. Yeah, it's an okay defense, but they're at home. I think Myles Gaskin is a guy to start up and let him play. James Conner's running partner, Chase Edmonds. I'm sure he chases him down every practice. Chase Edmonds, they're looking at the Rams. They're heading to SoFi. Yeah, I think this is a guy to start. He's been solid. He's been putting up 10, 11, 13 points looking at his first 3 weeks here. I think this is a guy you play and you're confident that he'll be doing something. Moving on to the boys in New England, the Patriots, Damian Harris. He did very well the first 2 weeks, putting up 12 points, 11 points. Third week comes in, 2 points for Damian Harrison. How many times did he run the ball? 6 times. What's going on up there in New England? I thought this guy would have been a workhorse. They'd be running him the whole time, but they put in some guy, Brandon Bolden. That was pretty bold of them to put him in over Damian Harris. Yep. They say they don't like his pass protection. Saying Damian Harris's pass protection is a little suspect. Bolden's a little better at that. Well, Harris, I say you start him, but I think you got to hope for the best if he's going to do better or not. A pretty good committee over here in Buffalo. Bills Mafia looking at Singletary and looking at Zach Moss. Pretty strong players. Devin Singletary definitely exploded out of the pack. 9 points in the first week, 16 in week 2. Then in that third week, 3 points. They're going to be playing Houston, so I think there's a good chance that Devin Singletary bounces back. Now his dancing partner back there, Zach Moss, didn't do anything first week, 0. Week 2, 14. Week 3, 16. This kid looks like he's ready to take over this backfield. And when they head to Houston, I think he's going to have himself a good game. If you're looking to start Zach Moss or Devin Singletary, I think it's a good chance you start either of those guys and you run with them. All right, this guy, Kenyon Drake. Another guy barely even scoring 10 points a game. He's at 9.5, 8. Last week, 7.2. Do you play him against the Chargers Monday night? Bit of a toss-up. I think Peyton Barber's going to be used more effectively in that game. I think you put that in consideration. Kenyon Drake will probably only get you 10 points at most. Okay, moving on to the guy who shares the backfield with Mike Davis, Cordero Patterson. This guy's been looking good. 14 points, week 3. 22 points week 2. Only 8 points in week 1. They're inviting the boys from Washington to roll into hot Atlanta. Yep, I think you play this guy no matter what. Couple of San Francisco boys, Trey Sermon, Eli Mitchell. If Eli Mitchell's ready to play, pretty sure he's going to be the starter and the workhorse. His first week did really well, 17 points. Second week, 6 points. Didn't play the third week. The second guy on that backfield, Trey Sermon, did pretty good week 3. 10 points, got a touchdown. Didn't really do anything week 1 or week 2. If Eli Mitchell's not playing, Trey Sermon might be a good steal to put in there. This is a pretty tough committee to deal with, the Houston Texans. It is tough. You got David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, all really capable guys. Ingram seems to be the lead back in that one. They go to Buffalo. Do you want to start him? If you got a better choice, I'd definitely pick somebody else over Mark Ingram. If you have no choice, then you roll with the big dog, Mark Ingram. Not really much you could say about this past week with the Baltimore Ravens running squad. Yep, their lead dog is the QB. Think about that, a QB running more than a running back. Yep, it's happening in Baltimore. Tyson Williams got 2 fantasy points. That's not good for anybody. Other man running the rock, Latavius Murray, 2.8 points. Not looking good for either of those guys either. Who do you think you're going to play? Tyson or Latavius? Yeah, it's a big toss-up at this point. Tyson's more familiar with the offense, but I think Latavius Murray has still got some great wheels behind him at this point. I think Latavius Murray is the type of guy you want to have on your team and see if he can do something for you. Hello, Fantasy Freak Show. Ditka's pleasure to be talking to you guys. This is Jim from Pensacola, Florida. My quick question is about Denver's running backs, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon. Who you guys thinking is the lead dog here? It seems like they're scoring pretty good points. Would like to hear your opinion. Thank you. Yeah, that's a solid question. Javonte Williams, he's definitely looking good. Rookie out of North Carolina. Melvin Gordon's just been running the ball very, very well. It looks like he's a rookie himself the way he's playing. But we got to tell the truth about this story. That's what the Dickas do. They play the Giants, Jacksonville, and the Jets. 2 New York teams and a Jacksonville Jaguar team. Those are not strong teams. And Melvin Gordon's been the guy leading the pack there. All of Javonte Williams' carries have come in garbage time. Think about that. The team's been up so many points, they're letting the rookie go out there and just have a show on a couple of chumps who are in the waters just chumming up, if you know what we mean about that. So good question. I think Melvin Gordon's your lead dog. Javonte Williams is obviously a good player. If you have him, he can sit on your bench. Or maybe some weeks you could put him in there if you want a couple of points because he's been doing pretty well for himself. But they're not going to be playing the Giants or Jacksonville every week, so keep that in mind. Jets, Jets. What's up? This is Nick from New York. Big Jets fan, big green, that's what we wear. Let me ask you something. Who am I going to start at running back? You guys are talking about running backs. So you tell me what's up. Who am I going to start? Thank you, Dickas. Thank you. Jets fan, hey, how you doing? Thanks for the call in. Thanks for the question. Wow. These boys in New York, they're not looking good. I mean, we're going to be laughing at them the whole season, I think. None of these guys have even reached 10 fantasy points, and it's been 3 weeks. I don't even know if you want a Jets player on your team. Nope. If you ask me, I wouldn't pick up any of these guys or play any of these guys. Who has the highest hopes? That Michael Carter guy. Give him a chance. Put him on your team. I think he'll probably bounce around and, produce some points here and there, but we're talking about the Jets here. So good luck. I don't know who to play on that team. I'd stay far away from them.
Hi, I'm Sally, calling from Tucson. I'm pretty new to fantasy football. It's my second season. It's fun. My friends got me into it, and this has just been really fun times to play with them. And flex position, I'm calling about a flex position. I have Tony Pollard and Niami Hines. I believe that's how you say his name. Who who should I start? Um, I think they're both playing some pretty easy teams, so I'm not sure who to start in my flex position. Thank you, Dickas.
Oh, Tony Pollard from Dallas. Thank you for the call. Should have said that first. Thank you for the call. Yeah, let's go. Tony Pollard. That's what we're thinking about right now. Playing against Carolina. He's been doing pretty good. Tony Pollard's a pretty solid guy to have on your team. Backing up Zeke, the main guy. If you want to play him over our boy Nyheim Hines, it is a tough name to say. Hines has been looking pretty good. He had a pretty solid week last week, 16 points. I would probably play Hines over Pollard. Going against Miami, I think Miami doesn't know what they're doing. I think they're going to have a tough time trying to cover Jonathan Taylor and Hines out of the backfield. Hines will probably catch a good amount of balls. If you're playing in a full PPR, I'd go with Hines over Pollard. It's about time to wrap up the show. Fantasy Freak Show. Ditka's running it. We want to thank everybody who listened in. We talked about running backs, gave you our opinions. We'd like to keep it honest, make sure you know what we're feeling and who we're feeling is going to do well or who's going to do pretty bad. So Detroit's rolling into town, coming into Soldier Field to play the Bears. I think we'll have a better show, and this time we'll be more prepared, I promise. Detroit's coming off a tough loss, losing it to a field goal, 66 yards. I expect this to be a pretty interesting game. Justin Fields hopefully gets to start again. I think he's gonna bounce back from last week. Those Lions definitely don't have a pass rush like the Browns do. So it's gonna be a good one for our boys. I think we get the W pretty easy for this one. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Plan to keep tuning in. Anybody have any calls? You have any comments to make? Please feel free to make them. We want to answer them. We want to help you. So tune in, listen to us more, and the Bears Fantasy Freak Show. We're closing out. See you next time. All right, I want to go pop a couple of more brewskis. Yeah, I'm pretty thirsty myself. Let's go get some more brewskis. We're done with the show. It's time to pound down a couple of more. Hey, hey, hit up your Uncle Carmine. Tell him let's get some cannolis. Yeah, cannolis sound pretty good. Let's get some cannolis in here before we roll out of the show. And this place nice, right? Couple of brewskis and a cannoli.